I will never look at family dinners the same way after this. Trust me, you won't either. Last night I was on the phone with my mom, and she invited me over for dinner. Everything was fine until she said, "Janet is going to be there." I thought, very funny mom, but inside I was like, not cool. Janet died last year. My mom kept insisting, "You haven't seen her in forever, it'll be nice." I remembered clear as day, Janet died of cancer. Her husband was devastated and everyone talked about it for weeks. Yet mom was acting like Janet was just out of town. I finally blurted out, "Janet's dead, what are you talking about?" My mom laughed it off, saying, "She's back." I asked my dad later and he looked at me like I was nuts. And to make things even weirder, I couldn't find Janet's obituary online. So what's going on? Either my parents have lost it and they're imagining Janet's presence, or I've somehow switched to a universe where she never died. Or, and bear with me here, a zombie is coming to dinner. I guess I'll update you all after dinner. Has anything like this ever happened to you? Let me know in the comments. Edit. I'm finally back with an update. Sorry for the wait. So, I went to the dinner, feeling a mix of dread and curiosity. The table was set, and everything looked normal, but there was this eerie feeling in the air. My mom was bustling around, acting like it was just another family dinner. My dad was unusually quiet, which only added to the weirdness. I kept glancing at the empty chair, half expecting Janet to walk in any moment. The atmosphere was thick with tension. Every creak of the house made me jump. I tried to make small talk, but my mind was racing. What if Janet really showed up? What if my parents were right, and I was the one losing it? I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. I decided to text my brother, who lives out of state. Maybe he could shed some light on this bizarre situation. He replied almost immediately, saying he had no idea what I was talking about. He remembered Janet's funeral too. This only made things more confusing. I was on the verge of a breakdown. My mom noticed my distress and asked what was wrong. I told her I was just tired, but she gave me this knowing look, like she understood more than she was letting on. It was infuriating and comforting at the same time. Dinner was served and we all sat down. The empty chair loomed large in my mind. My mom started talking about Janet, reminiscing about old times as if she were still alive. My dad nodded along, but I could see the strain in his eyes. It was like they were both trying to convince themselves of something. I couldn't take it anymore. I excused myself and went to the bathroom. I needed a moment to collect my thoughts. As I splashed water on my face, I looked at myself in the mirror and wondered if I was the one going crazy. Was this some elaborate prank, or was there something supernatural at play? When I returned to the table, my mom was smiling and my dad looked more relaxed. They were talking about future plans as if everything was back to normal. I decided to play along, not wanting to upset them further, but inside I was still reeling. After dinner, I helped my mom with the dishes. I asked her again about Janet, trying to get a straight answer. She just smiled and said, "You'll see." It was maddening. I felt like I was trapped in a nightmare. I left their house feeling more confused than ever. On the drive home, I kept replaying the evening in my mind. Nothing made sense. I decided to do some more digging when I got home. Maybe there was something I missed. I spent hours online searching for any trace of Janet's death. There was nothing. No obituary, no funeral records, nothing. It was like she had never existed. I even checked social media, but her profiles were gone. It was as if she had been erased from history. I finally gave up and went to bed, but sleep didn't come easy. My mind was racing with possibilities. Was this some kind of glitch in reality? A parallel universe, or was I just losing my mind? I didn't have any answers, only more questions. The next morning I woke up to a text from my mom. It simply said, "Hope you had a good time last night. Janet says hi." I stared at my phone in disbelief. What was happening? I decided to visit them again, determined to get to the bottom of this. When I arrived, my mom greeted me with a hug. She seemed genuinely happy to see me. My dad was in the living room, reading a book. Everything seemed normal, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I asked my mom directly, "Where's Janet?" She just smiled and said, "She's around." It was infuriating. I demanded to know the truth, but she just kept smiling. My dad didn't say a word, just kept reading his book. I left their house feeling defeated. I didn't know what to believe anymore. Was Janet really alive? Or was this some kind of elaborate hoax? I decided to take a break from it all and clear my head. As I walked through the park, I thought about all the strange events of the past few days. Nothing made sense. I felt like I was living in a different reality. I needed to find a way to get to the bottom of this, but I didn't know where to start. I decided to visit Janet's grave. Maybe seeing it would help me make sense of things. When I arrived, I was shocked to find that her grave was gone. There was no trace of it, It was like she had never been buried there. I felt a chill run down my spine. What was happening? I needed answers, but I didn't know where to turn. I decided to confront my parents one last time. I had to know the truth no matter how crazy it sounded. When I arrived at their house, I was determined to get answers. I demanded to know what was going on. My mom just smiled and said, "You'll see." It was maddening. I felt like I was losing my mind. I left their house feeling more confused than ever. I didn't know what to believe anymore. Was Janet really alive, or was this some kind of elaborate hoax? I decided to take a break from it all and clear my head. I guess I'll update you all after dinner. Has anything like this ever happened to you? Let me know in the comments. Edit, I'm finally back with an update. Sorry for the wait.